climate change, and this is different to different locations. In Nairobi, we do Sheng, and when we go to the northern counties, we also use a method that works for them. So number one, the one thing that I did, first of all, was to ensure that we are communicating climate change information in a way that is attractive to a younger generation, in a way that, makes them feel it is actually relatable. Because, the climate crisis is interesting. It is something that affects everyone, So it also affects populations that are illiterate. But then you can't go around and telling them about climate change when they haven't, you don't have that type of climate literacy. So we looked for these avenues to kind of break down this information to them in a way that they can consume it, but also provide solutions. We also did a lot of blogs in my tenure. We have them on our website, and you can refer. These are blogs that have been done by young people from different parts of Kenya, and we post them there to inspire more people to continue to talk about climate change, share their stories. And we also had intervarsity debates. We did with the African Nazarene University, we did with the University of Nairobi, we did the Kenyatta University, and this is number one to break the jargon around climate change. So our debates are very simple, but then they were very targeted in trying to communicate a different aspect of climate change in each session.
In layman's language, we are fighting something that is very broad. A lot of people don't really understand the threat that climate change has on the human population. Here in Kenya, we have seen widespread droughts, we have seen floods over the last 2-3 years. So maybe you can simplify it, because here on Green Fix, we like to simplify the message, and also we like to ensure that our audience relates to it, because we do have quite a younger audience. So what is the threat that is in front of us that is posed as climate change?
I'll answer that by sharing an example of an activity that I did in Kibera slums. This is future visioning. So this is whereby we called the young people, and of course it was not just the young people, but we had different sets of populations, children, young people, old people, and so forth. And we were asking them, what would Kibera look like for you 30 years from now? And then we also asked them, what was Kibera looking like 5 years ago? What is it looking like now? And now these people gave us, answers like, we used to have cleaner air, but now there's, waste is not being collected, so the air is more polluted. And now we are able to tie this and explain to them that what you're actually saying has everything to do with climate change. So this is trying to, I don't want to say, try to make indigenous knowledge scientific, but really trying to find the links, because what they are explaining is actually science, but they do not have the language of putting it into that scientific context. So that is one thing that has worked for us. We do a future visioning scenario where we draw a river of life, and in that river of life, we try to look at what was it like in the past, what are we dealing with now, and what would we want to see for the future. And then lastly, how do we get to the future? We ask them, what are you already doing, and how can we support you? How can you work together to improve whatever it is you're already working on?
How do marginalized communities respond to climate change?